Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
Here at the News at Noon show, we assemble the best and most interesting news we can find from the area, and Jerry Tope brings you the local weather. Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
We appreciate that you're watching DCTV. Today's show is live on Tuesday at noon and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. and again re-aired on Friday at noon, 2:30 and 8. Today is September 20th, 2016. Here's the news. Michelle Northcutt, 51 of Durango, was sentenced Monday to a year in jail for rear-ending a motorcycle, killing its rider. Reported in the Durango Herald, she said she fell asleep at the wheel while driving south on Colorado Highway 3 to an appointment on June 6. Her SUV slammed into the back of Tim Cooper's motorcycle, which was stopped at the intersection with South Camino del Rio near Walmart. The motorcycle hit the F-550 pickup, stopped in front of it, and burst into flames. Cooper, 52, was taken to Mercy Regional Medical Center, where he died. Northcutt pleaded guilty to careless driving causing death. La Plata County Judge Martha Minow did not sentence probation, deciding that it would be purposeless for Northcutt, who has no criminal record. But she imposed jail time to send a message to the community about the severity of careless driving. Minow said, "There is no justice here. Why bad things happen to good people is not a question that will be answered here. No one should be driving when they're so tired that they could fall asleep." In addition to the jail sentence, Minow ordered Northcutt to surrender her driver's license for 3 years, pay $1,000, take a defensive driving course, and serve 300 hours of community service. Minow also ordered Northcutt to undergo a substance abuse evaluation at Cooper's family's request, although the judge said that from examining the evidence, she did not think substance abuse is a problem for the defendant. After the crash, Northcutt was subjected to sobriety tests at the scene, which she passed. Durango Police Corporal Brian Heaton pushed a button to activate his dashboard camera to record the test, but later found the camera didn't record. Northcutt admitted to officers that she smoked marijuana around 5 a.m. that day to get back to sleep and took an antidepressant the night before. The crash occurred at 10:26 a.m. A witness told police that Northcutt was weaving before the crash and documented it with a Snapchat video. Northcutt, a wife and mother of 2 daughters, wept throughout the sentencing and apologized to Cooper's families and friends.
According to the Cortez Journal, Montezuma County Sheriff Steve Nowlin reports a surge of wanted criminals and suspects who choose to run or try to when approached by deputies. It's a sign of the times because we are catching more crimes in progress, he said. We train for foot chases and our officers keep physically fit. On August 31st, Sergeant Adam Alcon observed a man with an active warrant walking on Main Street and followed him for a short distance after he climbed into a vehicle. The man exited the vehicle and fled on foot through the west side of the Quick Cash parking lot. Alcon blocked him with his patrol vehicle, then chased the suspect on foot through a field behind the Aneth Motel. As Alcon prepared to stop him with a shot from his stun gun, the suspect tripped and fell and was apprehended. According to the arrest report, the suspect had 5 grams of meth, a pipe, a gram of black tar heroin, 16 hydrocodone pills, and 25 green morphine pills. He was charged with possession with intent to manufacture or distribute a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and obstructing government operations. On September 4th, a sheriff deputy cruising Colorado Highway 145 spotted a wanted man who fled on foot but was soon apprehended. Upon being searched, the suspect, a convicted sex offender, had a meth pipe and hypodermic needle in his pocket. Upon being handcuffed, the man attempted to escape again but was quickly restrained.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, Joseph Meyer, the BLM Colorado Northwest District Manager since 2014, has been chosen to lead the BLM Colorado Southwest District. He will assume his new post as manager on October 2nd. BLM Colorado State Director Ruth Welch said, "Joe has a wealth of experience in managing the public's land in Colorado and Wyoming. He has been very successful working with the local communities that are so important to the BLM. His demonstrated leadership will serve Southwest Colorado well." Meyer began his career with the BLM as a seasonal employee in 1982. Since then, he has worked as a hydrology technician, soil scientist, physical scientist, assistant field manager, and field manager. Meyer has a bachelor's degree in watershed and resource management. With over 30 years of government service in natural resource management, he has supported or managed nearly every BLM program. Meyer said the people and landscapes of Southwest Colorado are truly remarkable, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to work there. It's been a privilege to work with the talented BLM staff and managers in Colorado, as well as the communities that are so important in managing the public's land. Meyer has a long-time love of the outdoors that led to his career attracted him to natural resource management. He moved west to experience the vast public lands from the Rocky Mountains to Red Rock Canyons. Meyer and his family enjoy hiking, fishing, camping, and flatwater kayaking.
According to the Durango Herald, the American Civil Liberties Union of Colorado filed a federal lawsuit Monday seeking to expand Medicaid patients' access to a new generation of drugs that have been successful in treating the hepatitis C virus. It follows lawsuits in other states pushing for government insurance to cover the advanced drugs, which can cost $40,000 or more for a 12-week course of treatment. Private health insurers cover the drug treatments for patients with the blood-borne virus, which can cause liver failure and cancer, the Colorado lawsuit says. The claim says Medicaid patients can get the drugs only after their livers have suffered some scarring, the Denver Post reported. The ACLU is representing Robert Lee Cunningham, who was denied coverage for the drug because he had not suffered measurable and potentially irreversible liver damage. The group is suing the department that operates the state's Medicaid program. The Department of Health Care Policy and Financing had no immediate comment. The Colorado Department did expand coverage on September 1st for patients with a lesser amount of scarring. It also granted coverage to women who plan to become pregnant. The state says 14,400 people with Medicaid coverage have the virus. Those patients, the lawsuit alleges, are being unduly subjected to a second-class standard of health insurance coverage for the sole reason they are poor. The ACLU filed a similar suit in Indiana, Delaware, Florida, Massachusetts, and New York, have recently expanded Medicaid access to drugs that can eliminate the virus in 90% of cases.
Dan Elliott for the Durango Herald wrote about the Superfund site in Idaho Springs. For decades, a creek in the mountains west of Denver sometimes ran yellow from toxic waste gurgling out of abandoned mines, a painfully familiar story in the picturesque wreckage of Colorado's 1859 gold rush. But after a 3-decade, $62 million Superfund cleanup, Clear Creek now lives up to its pristine-sounding name, at least most of the time. In the historic mining town of Idaho Springs, the creek attracts anglers, rafters, and even real estate investors. The actual designation of the Superfund site on Idaho Springs has been nothing but positive, said Bob Bowland, a longtime resident and city council member. That offers hope for the town of Silverton, 165 miles to the southwest, where the federal government is embarking on another big cleanup after a massive spill from the Gold King mine last year. But other Idaho Springs residents warned that getting through their cleanup was wrenching, especially in the early years. When the EPA launched the project in 1983, the outside world wrongly thought the entire town was contaminated and the community's reputation and economy suffered, they said. The cleanup also brought down the enormous power of the EPA on Idaho Springs, a town that even now has just 1,700 residents, and some people felt steamrolled. To my knowledge, not a single concern we had made a single difference in any of the analysis or outcomes, former Clear Creek County Commissioner Nelson Fugate said. Arsenic, cadmium, copper, lead, manganese, and zinc were washing into Clear Creek from abandoned mining sites when the EPA created the Superfund project. The name of Clear Creek was a joke, Bowland said. The creek was never clear, ever. It was just yellow. The EPA built one treatment plant for wastewater flowing from the mines, and a second is under construction. A concrete and steel bulkhead was installed inside a mine tunnel to control the flow of wastewater. Rain and snowmelt were diverted away from piles of rich mineral waste rock so contaminants wouldn't drain into the creek. The results were striking, residents said. County Commissioner Tim Mauk and others hope an influx of rafters, anglers, and other outdoor enthusiasts made possible by the cleanup will help stabilize a local economy still dependent on mining. A molybdenum mine may close, and officials are looking for ways to diversify. Earlier this year, Bowland and partners bought one of the Superfund hotspots, the historic Argo Gold Mill in Idaho Springs. Like the previous owner, they still offer tours, but they also plan a hotel, conference center, housing, and restaurants. Silverton and surrounding San Juan County were reluctant to accept a Superfund cleanup in their backyard, even though nearby mines have been belching wastewater for decades. Some worried about the stigma of a toxic waste cleanup in a town whose economy depends on tourism. They also feared the EPA would wield outsized power over local affairs. But the 2015 blowout at the Gold King, inadvertently triggered by an EPA-led cleanup crew, convinced residents that something had to be done and that only the federal government could afford to do it. San Juan County and Silverton officials toured Idaho Springs and other Colorado towns late last year and took note of Superfund pitfalls. They pressed EPA to limit the area covered by their Superfund designation. It's too soon to know whether Silverton tourism will benefit from a cleanup the way Idaho Springs has. Idaho Springs can tap into the 3 million people in the Denver metropolitan area just 30 miles away, while Silverton is more than 6 hours from Denver in the southwest corner of the state.
According to the Durango Herald, State Senator Ellen Roberts of Durango believes fellow lawmakers inappropriately meddled with the initiative process to project problems with a primary election ballot question. When lawmakers updated a description in voter information booklets about the initiative, Roberts was the lone voice against amending it to reflect that the initiative would lead to a specific percentage of ballots tossed because of voter error. The issue stems from one of two primary ballot questions facing voters in November. The measure would allow unaffiliated voters to vote in non-presidential primary elections, but they would have to cast their votes for a single party. Colorado currently has a closed primary. Although voters are allowed to affiliate with a party up to and on Election Day, an option that allows them to participate. If unaffiliated voters choose this option, they would receive a primary ballot for the party they picked. If the ballot question passes, most unaffiliated voters would receive one ballot with both Republican and Democratic candidates, though clerks could choose to send voters separate ballots for each party. If voters mistakenly vote for both Republicans and Democrats on the ballot, then their preferences would be tossed or spoiled. Lawmakers earlier this month amended language in the so-called Blue Book, which explains ballot issues to voters, to reflect that as many as 9% of ballots could be spoiled under the proposed system. Staff has since lowered that projection to 7%, though proponents argue that their own research suggests that less than 1% of ballots would be spoiled. The motion to amend the Blue Book language to caution voters that a percentage of ballots would be spoiled passed by a resounding 17-1. The Washington state presidential primary was used as an example in crafting the projection, though proponents say the system there is different than the system proposed for Colorado and therefore not an accurate depiction. A separate ballot initiative in Colorado this year would create a presidential primary, moving away from the caucus system. The proposed primary also would include unaffiliated voters, but because presidential primaries include candidates for only one office, the likelihood of voters spoiling their ballot by crossing parties is low. And now here's our weather report.
Apparently, Payne got a dose of pain-killing medicine after being very briefly a hurricane in strength. Payne weakened yesterday and has weakened to the point that even the tropical storm watch for the Baja Peninsula has been discontinued. So Payne's effect on the Great Southwest has been a lot less than forecast, and a general cloud cover has led to lower temperatures that do not promise as much convection activity today, but some minimal rains are possible. Rain or no, cloudy and cool we will have today and going on into Friday and Friday night. Models have been all lowering the amount of rain and showers and thunderstorms expected and are still changing, also in the lower direction, as to when and where or whether there will be any rain for our Four Corners area. The theoretical precipitable moisture in the clouds that will form sometime this afternoon or evening in the last report available is around 1 inch. Unfortunately for us, 1.2 is usually required to begin activity. Normally, this would mean nothing much for Dove Creek and lower elevations, and just a little in the San Juans. Tomorrow morning is when the good people in Grand Junction's National Weather Service office expect the arrival of that moisture in the San Juans. Thursday, though, the jet stream will offer a push and increase wind shear and instability and try to force more organized activity around and ahead of a strong cold front that will move in from the west Thursday morning. Gusty outflow winds with hail and heavy rain will be possible with any storms that form from that cold front. And in the second half of that cold front's game is where we are expecting our first cold blast of the fall. So, in spite of some online sources giving us moisture this morning and tomorrow, NWS indicates chances are better Thursday and Friday, when temperatures here have a good chance to be near freezing at night. North of I-70, there will be more than a good chance of snow levels above that latitude. There are to be lower levels of snowfall between 8,000 and 9,000 feet. For reference, remember Rico is at 8. Even though we are a ways south, light snow in some of the highest elevations would not be all that unusual here. Just to remind us, it's fall in the Rockies. So travel this coming weekend in northeast Utah and northwest Colorado, and the higher passes could be nasty, so keep a watch as we get closer to tomorrow's broadcast. Saturday through Monday, the main bulk of that low will track across the northern Rockies into the high plains, while our upper level trough here will split, and so all the way through Monday, temps will stay lower. A stationary frontal boundary along with the remnants of Tropical Storm Julia will bring showers and thunderstorms with potentially heavy rainfall to portions of the southeast and southern mid-Atlantic regions today. Rainfall amounts may exceed 2 inches for portions of northeastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. This will change very little through midweek, with the frontal boundary remaining largely stationary as the surface low pressure area slowly weakens. So, scattered showers and thunderstorms will continue across much of the southeast into Thursday. A low pressure wave will develop along the frontal boundary across the central and northern plains later today, causing scattered thunderstorms this afternoon across portions of the Midwest. On Wednesday, showers and thunderstorms will become more numerous from the Midwest to the upper Great Lakes. Some of these may produce heavy rainfall. While our first hit of fall cold is heading in here, much of the central and eastern U.S. will see above average temperatures through the next couple of days as high pressure builds from the southern plains into the Ohio Valley. High temperatures today are forecast to be 10 to 15 degrees above average across a wide area from the central high plains to the northeast. These warm temperatures will persist into Wednesday as well. There are portions of the southeast and southern mid-Atlantic regions where clouds and areas of precipitation will keep temperatures near or slightly below seasonal averages. So for our 5-day forecast, it goes like this. Today the clouds will steadily thicken and chances for moisture will climb steadily, although minutely, as well into Thursday and stay with us into the next week. There will be gusty conditions later in the week and on through the weekend, and cold nights beginning Friday night. Daytime highs will range from the mid-70s down to near 60 on Friday and play in the middle and lower 60s into the next week. Lows will be mid-40s to lower 30s. Look out for Friday night in particular for our best chances of an early freeze here. Now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, over the past 2 years, 3 Cortez elementary schools have been participating in a University of Virginia turnaround program to get them back on track. In May, the 3 schools, Kemper, Minot, and Mesa, were accepted to participate in a third year for the program, which will focus on sustainability so that teachers, principals, and administrators can continue the work after UVA personnel are gone. Year 3 is about sustaining the work and how you institutionalize these practices, Eric Thomas, Chief Support Officer for the Turnaround Program, said Thursday. Schools in about 20 states have participated, he said. It is built on 4 levers, or areas of focus that schools and districts can improve. Teachers and administrators in Cortez have drilled the 4 levers for the past 2 years. The first lever is leadership, which drives the other 3 levers. UVA personnel worked with administrators, principals, and teachers to develop that component, Thomas said. The second lever, support and accountability, examines relationships between schools and central offices. Superintendent Lori Hockness acts as the shepherd and is the central office representative who oversees the schools in the program, he said. The third lever, talent management, focuses on recruiting and retaining teachers. That's been a challenge in Cortez, as some prospective teachers see other cities in the region as more attractive and can't compete well because of budget constraints. In Cortez, UVA personnel have spent the most time with the 4th level, instructional infrastructure, which deals with curriculum, standards, and teaching delivery. Before UVA personnel came in, there were some aspects of that infrastructure that simply didn't exist in Cortez. The program stresses Cortez schools weren't even looking at continual student assessment, he said. Now that schools have implemented that assessment, teachers are working on how to analyze the information and how to use the data.
Reported in the Cortez Journal, Christina Knoll, at 46, is the executive director of the San Juan Basin Area Agency on Aging. She sees the impact of a carefree approach to aging as having on the state and on the nation. An aging baby boomer population is finally starting to worry about where they will live and play in the golden years of their life. We have to prepare for the needs of the baby boomers, the silver tsunami. It's going to be very different than someone that is 82 right now, Knoll said. The so-called silver tsunami refers to the population of aging boomers, which is expected to double the retirement age population by 2030. Hardest hit will be the Front Range and Western Slope resort communities. Between 2000 and 2010, Colorado's population of those 65 and older grew by 32% compared with the state's total population, which grew by 17%. Aging boomers, those born between 1946 and 64, is forecast to increase the population of those older than 65 by 123% between 2010 and 2030. By 2030, Colorado's older population will reach more than 1.2 million, compared with 550,000 in 2010, which would represent 18.5% of the state's total population. Between 2010 and 2020, 155 people will turn 65 every day in Colorado. The legislature is aware of the problem. Last year, it created the Strategic Action Planning Group on Aging, which is studying how best to manage the impact of the demographic shift. A report from the task force is expected to be presented to the legislature and the governor's office by the end of November. Dave Norman, a member of the task force and director of the Area Agency on Aging of Northwest Colorado, said the task force is examining improving government services, how to assist nonprofits and the private sector, ensuring funding, and creating an educational campaign to improve preparedness. A struggle will be helping older people age in place, or the ability to live in one's own home safely, independently, and comfortably, regardless of age and income. Nearly 90% of those older than 65 want to stay in their residence as long as possible. 80% believe they will always live at home, but a lack of transportation and affordable housing could curtail that desire. There's also economic factors to consider, as an estimated 346,000 jobs will be supported through retiree spending by 2030. Another issue leaders are trying to address is a misunderstanding about how Medicare takes care of seniors. It does not cover long-term home care or most medical equipment. Eyeglasses and dental care is also rarely covered. For poor people, turning 65 means they are forced from Medicaid into Medicare, which means benefits they enjoyed under Medicaid go away. She added that tradespeople often feel the the pinch the worst. Look at those people that built our communities and with their backs, sweat, tears, and blood. What do we offer those people? They have nothing. They've been self-employed. That population I worry about the most, Knoll said. As with any government service, the solution is going to take money. Knoll and others are working to save tax dollars through programs such as the San Juan Basin Area Agency on Aging. By keeping seniors healthy and in their homes as long as possible, taxpayers save money on subsidizing nursing home stays, which can cost between $60,000 and $90,000 per year. Norman pointed out that over the next several years, the number of people available in families and neighborhoods to help care for a person older than 80 will drop significantly. Studies suggest that over the next 20 years, the ratio of caregivers to clients will drop from 7 potential caregivers for every person over 80 to just 4.
According to the Cortez Journal, even though a fiber optic line to Silverton was finished last winter, it has taken months for high-speed service to reach residents and businesses. Brainstorm and its parent company Forethought.net started working to improve their service as soon as the fiber optic line was complete, but it took several months for the companies to get service on the line through CenturyLink. Last week, the companies announced high-speed service of speeds up to 100 megabits per second was available to residents and businesses which have relied on a dated, slow microwave link for years. CenturyLink, which owns part of the fiber optic line, officially claims to have improved service to 20 megabits per second in most of the town, but the company is pursuing grant funding from the state to pay for more infrastructure in Silverton. The Federal Communications Commission has set 25 megabits per second as the national benchmark for internet speed. Tests show Silverton's microwave link provides internet speeds in the 6 megabit per second range, said resident Anthony Edwards, who was advocated for better internet service for decades. He is excited for the Forethought.net system and the change it promises. The system that they are putting out now and upgrading is going to be sufficient for 90% of residential use, if not 100, he said. A few institutions are already enjoying the new service. The Silverton School was the first to get connected to fiber in December.
Breckenridge was the host location for the Colorado Governor's Conference on Tourism last week. This annual event draws a range of experts in the broad encompassing industry. The keynote speaker was travel editor for CBS News and travel and tourism industry expert Peter Greenberg. Earlier this summer, the Denver Post had reported that for the 5th year in a row, Colorado hosted a record number of tourists who have left a record amount of green in colorful Colorado. The Colorado Tourism Office reported that 77.7 million visitors came to the state in 2015, spending an all-time high of $19.1 billion, generating $1.13 billion in state and local taxes, an increase of almost 7% up from 2014. Colorado's 31% rebound in visitation from the tourism-pinching depth of the recession of 2009 is nearly double the national recovery rate of just 16%. Many people ask the question of how the impact of the Rocky Mountain high access to cannabis has affected visitation. Last year, Colorado spent about $19 million on vacation promotion, but nothing involving the state laws for marijuana. A survey quoted by the Post indicated that 11% of the tourists came to Colorado because of the access to cannabis, and 40% visited dispensaries. While in the younger 25 to 34-year-old range, 33% said cannabis played a part in their travel decision. 22% of those 55 and older tourists indicated the cannabis made them less likely to visit. And as reported in the Coloradoan, Colorado tourism officials say they will not actively promote the state's legal marijuana industry for now, but they may start providing information advising people about state laws regarding its use. Kathy Ritter, director of the Colorado Tourism Office, said federal law restricts what the state can do. She also said it's not a major attraction for visitors. I do believe we need to make it clear to our travelers what to expect when they come to a state where marijuana is legal, she said. A lot of out-of-state tourists are unaware that they can't smoke marijuana publicly, and they need to be educated about the subject. It's really hard to reach tourists in the 3 days they're here, Maffey said. Maffey's department is using the internet to identify people who want more information on the state's marijuana laws and direct them to ads about the state's Good to Know campaign on Colorado laws. The state is also using radio spots and brochures. Grand Junction, in partnership with Fruita and Palisade, were selected as the host cities for the 2017 Colorado Governor's Tourism Conference. The conference will take place at Two River Convention Center October 25th through the 27th of 2017.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of September 12th through the 18th. A deputy and Dove Creek Volunteer Fire Department responded to a fire in Squaw Point on the eastern rim of Cottonwood Canyon. A deputy responded to a report of a reckless driver entering our county on Highway 491. A vehicle unlock was performed in the county for motorists from out of the country. A report of a dog at large was reported near Road E and Highway 141. The dog is small, copper-colored, and wearing a red collar. A deputy responded to a noise complaint in town. A deputy investigated a report of a broken window of a vacant home in Cajon. That's it for today's Roundup. Stay tuned tomorrow for more updates.
In today's High Country happenings, September 22nd, Thursday, from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Mesa County Fairgrounds in Grand Junction, there's an event called Autumn Fever, a campfire with Donald Trump Jr. The Political Action Committee Team America, founded by former presidential candidate Tom Tancredo, is organizing the event. Avid hunter and the son of Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump will speak candidly about the importance of having a president that's in touch with the realities of wildlife conservation and wildlife management. The president sets the compass for the direction of the Department of the Interior, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Bureau of Land Management, and the U.S. Forest Service. His appointments to the heads of these agencies is critical in determining the policies that affect every aspect of hunting, fishing, and wildlife conservation on our federal lands. Protecting the multiple use of our public lands is key. The balance of proper energy exploration, mining, and timber harvest, if done correctly, can benefit our local economies, our wildlife habitat, and our hunting and fishing, the promotion says. Visit Colorado Sportsmen Make America Great on Facebook for more details. The 28th Annual Durango Cowboy Poetry Gathering Parade will begin at 10 a.m. October 1st in downtown Durango, with events scheduled throughout the day. At 6 a.m., Chuck Wagon Breakfast is held at 5th Street and Main Avenue, and that will kick things off with live music beginning at 9:30 a.m. Performers will include American Idol finalist Genevieve Rose Mitchell, Tim Sullivan, the DAC Applause Group, and more. Poetry events begin September 29th and run through October 2nd. For more information, visit DurangoCowboyGathering.org or call Pam at 512-517-5619. The 81st Annual Conference of the Colorado Archaeological Society will be held October 7th through the 10th at Colorado Mesa University in Grand Junction. The conference will feature a Friday meet and greet and documentary film screening, short and diverse lectures, followed by a keynote Chaco Canyon talk Saturday, and field trips on Sunday and Monday. No archaeological background or affiliation is required to attend. Visit cas-gj.weebly.com for details and to register. More information is available on our Facebook page. And of course, all of the happenings are posted up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the embedded YouTube replays of the live show and the exclusive DCTV 5-day forecast. If you have an event, you can email us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call us at the station at 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get it on air.
Thanks for tuning in. A reminder that this program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday, then rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. and again aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 2:30, and 8 p.m. each day, respectively.
And again, check us out on Facebook. We'd love for you to like us there and spread the word. Today is Talk Tuesday. Our in-studio guest will be the Democrat for District 2 Commissioner candidate, incumbent Ernie Williams. We hope you'll stay tuned directly following today's broadcast.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching. You'll see us again tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome back. Today is Talk Tuesday, September 20th, and here we have Ernie Williams, who is candidate for District 2 Commissioner and also the incumbent in the position, running as a Democrat. Thank you for coming, Ernie.
Thanks for having us here today. This is a little different for us here for Dolores County to be on television, but it's great.
It is an awesome thing, and we are also, of course, over the air on this broadcast, but then it also is on YouTube, so we can reach the younger generations that don't have the antenna TV. Ernie, please tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you've sent out a letter to the whole of Dolores County, so everybody should have received one who is of voting age. Just tell us a little bit about yourself for anybody out there who doesn't know who you are.
Well, for those that don't know me, I guess my name is Ernest Williams, but everyone calls me Ernie Williams. I've been in the area a little over 30 years. I came here in the oil field from Wyoming And when I got here, I loved this area. The people's all treated me good here, and I decided to make this my home. This is my 3rd year as County Commissioner for Dolores County, and during that time I've been very fortunate to work with a very good team of people. My wife and I, we run a small cattle operation. I also make my living as being a mechanic in the area. I try to stay out of the oil field as I like to stay home, and I want to keep working as the County Commissioner. We've done a lot of projects, and we have quite a few more that we'd like to do.
Well, that leads me to the next question, which is why you want to continue as Commissioner.
I'm sure a lot of you know that we're doing a building project, service center and a senior center. We're very fortunate to come up with funding on this, and I want to see these projects completed. Earlier in the year, we formed a team of people, went to Denver. I was the primary speaker at DOLA, which we received $2 million. That $2 million we then matched with funding that Dolores County has, and we are going to build our public service center. The $2 million grant was one of the largest grants, single sum grants that Dolores County has received. I want to mention as we do that, no one person in the county can come in and do anything. I've had some great success with projects that I've done, but it comes because we have a good bunch of people. And you have to be on the team. You have to have support from your other commissioners. You have to have support from all the volunteers that are on special committees, your planning, the fair board, school boards. You got to have all these people to help you. So as we talk about some successes that we've had, and we know each commissioner takes on special projects, I want everybody to know nothing is possible within this county without the help of all the citizens that help us, because it's a team project. And the staff that we have and other commissioners have all been good to work with. I want to put that out there.
That's a very important part of the overall. And that we're also, in Dove Creek, we tend to be centric towards Dove Creek and the surrounding area, but the county is really quite a vast terrain. Rico and different places you're also involved with, because as a county commissioner you represent them as well.
So let's talk about some of the other projects. We have a very good fire district and a fire department within the Dove Creek area, and Rico has a very good fire department. But the rest of the county lacks in a fire district. Part of that is because we have vast country that is public ground. But part of that is there's private ground that does not fall within a fire district. One of those places is up at the West Fork. So for the past 3 years, we've been developing a volunteer fire department up there, and it is finally coming together. We have it formed. We have some equipment that's been donated by the Dolores Fire District and the Dove Creek Fire District. We are now trying to pursue some land to put a building on down by Fish Creek, and we are working with Dutton in order to put a building up there. So that's some other projects within our county that we're working on.
And with regard to the federal lands, that certainly has been an issue over the last several years with the grouse and all that. Your relationship with those, the MOUs and things moving forward, how is that going, and how do you see that? So
when I first became a commissioner and the other commissioners, we decided that we needed to have an open relationship with BLM and Forest Department. And so what we did, we started having them come to monthly meetings, and they still come to monthly meetings, and we discuss what's going on within our county. And this relationship has been able to help us with public access, travel management, just lots of different things. You know, we were one of the only areas that got motorized game retrieval when the travel management went to effect, and that's because we had worked with the Forest Department in order to get that done. We want to keep this open relationship because we know that travel management is going to be coming to BLM grounds soon, and we want to work closely with them. Also, an example of working together with them, Bradfield Bridge had a little trouble, and that's a very important campground to our residents. We wanted to keep that open, and we've worked in partnerships with the BLM in order to keep the Bradfield usable for our citizens.
That sounds wonderful. You also, let's see, in the letter, the fairgrounds was an important aspect of what you've done.
At one point, the fairgrounds was run by a nonprofit, owned by the county, but run by a nonprofit. We then brought that back into the county, and we've done a lot of improvements. I sit on the fair board, but the fair board has a good group of citizens who are volunteers, and they work hard out there. They put on our local rodeos for the kids. They work for the fair. These guys are tremendous assets to our community, and it does a lot for us. One of the improvements we've done, we finally got electricity into the fairgrounds. We used to have a generator. We got electricity into the fairgrounds. That was a big improvement. The arena years ago was put up with fiberglass, and during the time it was put up, that was great. But as time will tell us, it didn't turn out that well for us. We've redone the arena with steel, and it's a very nice arena. We've also got concrete floor now in the whole building where it was half dirt. We have a shooting range out at the fairgrounds, and the pistol range should be finished. We hope. We got a grant and we're working on finishing that. So we got a lot of things happening out at the fairgrounds, and for all of you that haven't been out there, I would hope you go out and see our new sign. We're very proud of that fairgrounds out there, and we're getting more and more use, and I would urge everyone in Dolores County, take a little time, go by the fairgrounds, look at it. We're proud of it.
Great, great. I also, looking forward, there are a lot of people who discuss the potential for hemp or other agricultural products. I know we had some problem with the sunflower issue years ago, but is that something that you're open to helping with the farmers?
So the hemp, we're hearing a lot about the hemp, and I'm not probably as up on all the hemp products that there is, but I know that there is a lot of experimental stuff going on within our region, and I'm open in to hear about that. I think that anything that can help our ag base is good. We know there's always going to be new stuff. The sunflower thing, it hurt us in some ways. In some ways, it may have been a hard lesson that's helped us move ahead and move on to other stuff.
And as far as medical marijuana or recreational in the future, if that is something that the community drives or not?
Dolores County voted not to have sales of marijuana. And I think that if Dolores County votes like that, we have to understand how the voters feel. Recreational marijuana creates a lot of problems in that it's still against the law by the feds. It creates a problem for CDL driver's license. It is legal in Colorado, and so I think we have to be very careful how we move ahead with that. Medical marijuana creates some problems. It has helped a lot of people, and we see now that they're looking to use it in schools, and hopefully it will be used what it's good for. Sometimes it's abused, and we're starting to see some problems with that within the county. And so I guess I'm going to hold my views as what is legal in Colorado, then we abide by that. But I try to abide by what the voters want in Dolores County, and I think they were very well spoken on that.
Great. Are there any other topics of interest moving forward that you're looking at in scope of the county developing jobs or?
So one of the projects that we've been working on here, and I kind of took the personal lead on it, but I had a lot of support from the commissioners, is EagleNet was supposed to supply fiber to the school, and that did not happen. So I took the lead on that project. We got a good grant from COG, Colorado Council of Governments, okay? So we decided then at that time, we worked with farmers, which provide a lot of schooling and helped us through this. Farmers was great. They're a local phone company. They were great to help us. We ran our own fiber. The county ran their own fiber from out at Cajon. We hooked up the school to high-speed internet, which gave them the ability to increase learning. And so as we move ahead, that's got to be a big program for our kids out there as they go to different colleges. Now, as we see on the ballot, we're going to have an opt-out of Senate Bill 152. If that happens, we will be able to use this fiber to expand it in the county so that local residents and businesses will be able to tap into this resource, which I think will give us a lot of help in jobs and economic development.
And so to explain just briefly for those that haven't heard about the 152, because that will be for all to vote on.
Yes, it will.
We are suggesting to opt out so that it makes an opportunity for businesses and individuals. Is that? Great summary.
Is correct. Called the Quest bill. So I would hope that the residents of Dolores County would take a look at that. I would urge them to make their own decision on what they think. It would then allow the county to help maybe move this ahead, or let maybe farmers or one of the other local companies to use this fiber in order to expand and give a reasonable rate for high-speed internet to our community.
Which we definitely need.
Right.
Here. And it is also, is it going to be at the service center, the community senior center?
It will be. The high-speed internet will be out there.
So that'll be there too. So that'll
But
be
the Senate Bill 152 is going to be very important to us in moving that ahead to the community.
Yeah.
Now, we don't quite have as much opportunity up in Rico yet, but we are looking for some solutions to that as we move ahead.
Good, good. Well, and I see also in your letter that you are very accessible. You offered for anyone to talk to you if they'd like to give you a call. Or
I have always put my personal cell phone out. I want to be somebody, I don't want to be one of those people, how do you get a hold of this guy, or maybe untouchable. My personal cell phone number is 739-3306. If you have a question about the county, call me. I will do my best to give you the best truthful answer that I can. You may not like it, but I will do the very best that I can.
Okay, and being Talk Tuesday, if there is anybody that wants to give a call at 677-4119, if you have a question for Ernie, we have the phone open here. And I also do ask just a funny question, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. Okay.
Blue sky. As most of you know, I'm a skydiver. I used to do the demo jumps for the
yes,
pick
with
and
Jim.
hoe. I
Yep.
jumped the flags in. I'm a pilot, so blue.
Blue. Clear blue Colorado skies.
I'd like to wait while we're waiting for
Mississippi.
people to call in. I got to say thank you to all the citizens and all the staff that I work with and all the commissioners that I've worked with. It makes it so easy to do your job. I see other counties that struggle. Their commissioners fight among themselves, staff fight among themselves. I'm so fortunate in Dolores County to be able to work with a group. We might not disagree, and when we get done disagreeing, we can still have a cup of coffee. And that's something that's unusual. So I've been very fortunate during this time to be able to work with such great people. And I love it here. That's why I came here. I love the people here.
Yeah. Great. Well, and this is live at noon on Tuesday, but this will be rebroadcast and also on YouTube. So those of you out there who want to get a hold of Ernie and have him answer any questions, give him a call on the cell phone. And all this information will be on the Facebook page to get in touch with all the candidates. So we just really thank you for coming in, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Look forward to. And everybody, make sure when you get your ballot in the mail, you check everything out and research online and vote. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.